Prime Minister wants Canadians to believe that this recession is the fault of the world. Tariffs, energy prices, global uncertainty, all convenient Liberal excuses. But every nation in the G7 faced those same conditions, and yet Canada alone has fallen into a recession. $20 billion in net investment has fled this country under his watch. That is a failure of Liberal economic policy. So if the world is to blame, then why is Canada the only G7 country in a recession?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Financial Institutions.
Mr. Speaker, clearly that member, that leader, is missing in action again when it comes to anything constructive with respect to the economy. Where is he? Where is he today with anything constructive? Canadians do not want political theatre. They want a government that's serious about this economy. We are going to diversify our trade. We're going to build major projects, and we are going to invest in unions and workers. Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we are serious about building an economy, the strongest economy in the G7. That leader is missing in action again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, let's try to stay away from metaphors. The Honourable Member for Newmarket Aurora.
The member can spin, deflect, and dress this issue up however he likes. But why should Canadians believe that this Liberal government's promises about the future are true when the numbers today prove that they cannot manage the present? Canada is the only G7 country in a recession. The Prime Minister himself told Canadians that we have the best deal in the world with the U.S. Oil prices are surging. Canada should be thriving. Instead, our economy has contracted 3 out of the last 4 quarters. So I ask again, if the world is to blame, then why...
The Honourable Secretary of State for Financial Institutions.
Mr. Speaker, a newsflash for that leader and that party opposite. We are in a trade war. We are facing economic headwinds. Canadians do not want political theatre that leader loves. Let's listen to the chief economist of Scotiabank, who characterizes his behavior as irresponsible. On this side of the House, we are going to build an economy for all Canadians. We are going to invest in infrastructure, in defence, in housing, in major projects. We will build Canada strong, a Canada for everyone. He's missing in action. Where is he?
I mean, you know, I know people are being very clever, but let's try not to be. The Honourable Member for Terra Nova, the Peninsula.
Mr. Speaker, a recession, 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline. This Prime Minister has had 3 of his 4 quarters in decline. That puts Canada as the only G7 country in recession. And while the Liberals are in denial, the facts don't lie. There are more small businesses in Canada closing than opening. More than half of small business owners do not recommend opening a business. When will these Liberals at least admit that their policies put Canada into a recession?
The Honourable Minister of Fisheries and Oceans.
Mr. Speaker, I want to celebrate the apprenticeship program, a program that's focused on getting young people trained, red seal status, with support every step along that process. We are building the economy, almost $1 billion in small craft harbors, support our rural communities, also economic boosts for communities. That's what Canadians expect, and that's what we're delivering.
The Honourable Member for Terra Nova, the Peninsulas.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think those words are very comforting to the apprentices or to the 112,000 people who lost their jobs in the past 3 months. Mortgage defaults are growing year over year. Canadian households are having the highest debt in the G7. Insolvencies hit their highest since 2009. $20 billion have fled this country. How much more data do they need before they realize that whatever this Prime Minister is pretending to do is not working?
The Honourable Minister of Fisheries and Oceans.
I want to remind the member in opposition from Newfoundland and Labrador that we are working working closely with the Conservative provincial government to build the province together. Bay du Nord, $8 billion in Goose Bay, 5-wing Goose Bay, to expand the capacity of the base, but also this support moves out into the broader region. The work continues. Housing initiatives, on it goes. An announcement today from the Finance Minister in Newfoundland and Labrador. That's what Newfoundlanders and Labradorians and Canadians expect us to do. That's what we're doing. Laser focused.
The honourable member for Elgin St. Thomas, London South.
Mr. Speaker, it wasn't that long ago this Prime Minister got up and said he was the grand economist that would turn things around, the guy you could go to in a crisis. Well, here we are, Canada, the only G7 country in a recession, and where is he? Nowhere to be found. Runs from a reporter to ask about it, doesn't rise in this House of Commons to speak to it. Well, Canadians are suffering and struggling and paying the price. When will this Prime Minister admit that Canada is in a recession and he is the one to blame?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Speaker, I think it's time to get serious. I think members of opposite know that Canadians know that we're in very uncertain economic times, that we're engaged in a trade war that is not of our making, and that is why this Prime Minister and this government has a plan. That is why we're so focused on diversifying our trade, engaging in free trade agreements with countries around the world. That is why, Speaker, we're selling uranium to India. That is why we're selling planes to Malaysia. We're selling canola to China. Our plan is working. We'll keep working hard to make sure that we're creating good paying jobs for all Canadians.
The honourable member for Elgin St. Thomas, London South.
Mr. Speaker, we're never going to get to net zero with that level of gaslighting. My goodness, the London economic region, which includes Elgin and St. Thomas, has the highest unemployment rate in Canada at 9.2%. 1,800 jobs lost. Does he expect me to go to my constituents and say, don't worry, you can sell all that uranium you've been working on? Families are struggling, families are suffering. This government keeps spending more and more money and won't even acknowledge the consequences of their action. When are they going to get serious and account for the fact that they have put Canada into a recession and the only country in the G7 to be there?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Trade.
Speaker, the members opposite can be as gleeful and as jovial as they want to, but Canadians know that this is a very serious moment in our country. That is why they require serious leadership. That is why they've elected a leader and a party that has a plan to diversify our economy, to make sure that not only we engage with the United States and Mexico and get the best deal possible for our country, we also build bridges and new partnerships around the world. China, India, Southeast Asia, Mercosur. That's where our focus is, Speaker, and we will not stop until we create good paying jobs for all Canadians.
The honourable member for Calgary Heritage.
Don't believe them when they say that we have the fastest growing economy in the G7. We're the only one in recession. Try telling that to the mom skipping meals so her children won't. Tell that to grandma at the food bank who's just trying to put Sunday dinner on the table. Tell that to the student whose future has been stolen. 112,000 jobs gone. $1 trillion of investment gone. $670 billion in generational jobs gone. It's not wars. It's not tariffs. It's a Prime Minister's record. What Liberal will get up to defend that?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Labour.
We're proud to stand up for our record every day in this House of Commons because that member knows very well that we're in the middle of a trade war. This country is facing headwinds, Mr. Speaker, but we have a plan. Mr. Speaker, Canada is building from LNG in BC to critical minerals in the prairies to nuclear and transit in Ontario, Mr. Speaker, to ports and mining in Quebec to offshore energy in Atlantic Canada, Mr. Speaker. This is how you create good jobs, great opportunities in the skilled trades, good union jobs, Mr. Speaker. We're building a Canada strong for all.